So first we're going to talk about the importance of breathing and how we should be breathing in Pilates. So our brain is fueled off of two things, glucose and oxygen. So it's important to have a proper breath pattern when practicing Pilates, because this is going to help expel toxins, bring oxygen into our blood and muscles, which of course we're using to exercise on our AeroPilates reformer. It is going to help improve our circulation, and it's going to promote calmness and concentration, which are also important parts of practicing Pilates. Our breath consists of two phases, an inhalation and an exhalation. And how you're breathing is much more important than when you're breathing when you're practicing your Pilates. So when you're following along with one of the videos, don't get caught up on when the instructor is telling you inhale here or exhale there. If you're off, just remember to breathe and focus on how you should be breathing. In Pilates, we use a lateral breath pattern. That's important for several reasons, mainly because our lungs are located in our rib cage, and we're going to be facilitating greater inhales to bring oxygen in by opening up our lungs and opening up our rib cage. It's also going to help us get more abdominal stabilization, stabilize the low back. It's going to help promote stabilization of our trunk to protect us while we're exercising, and it's going to allow for greater abdominal contraction in general. So we're going to talk about how you should be breathing now during your workouts. We're going to be using an inhale through the nose. This is to warm and filter the air, keep the air clean, and we're going to be exhaling out through our mouth. An exhale out through our mouth rather than our nose is going to help expel more carbon dioxide so we can bring more oxygen in. It's also going to help us focus on those deep abdominals and get a greater abdominal contraction when we're using an exhale out through the mouth. Generally though, if you're concerned about when you should be breathing, general rule to follow is when you're going into flexion of the spine, maybe say like an ab exercise like hundreds, you're going to be using an exhale to help promote that. And generally when we're inhaling, we extend the spine. So say if you're practicing some swan dives or arms on the long backs, you're going to be using an inhale to help you with that extension of the spine. Also, a lot of times an inhale is used to prepare you in the preparation phase of an exercise, and an exhale through the hard exertion. So if you're feeling like your footwork is really hard when you're pressing out, feel that exertion, go ahead and use an exhale there. So let's first start sitting to practice our breath. I'm gonna have you sit with your feet flat on the floor, in line with your hips, up nice and tall. You also really wanna promote good posture there to give your lungs room to move. And let's place your hands on the sides of your rib cage. You're gonna take an inhale through your nose, and I want you to expand the rib cage into your hands laterally. And as you exhale, breathe out through your mouth. I want you to allow the rib cage to close together. So if you had a balloon inside your rib cage, you're going to inhale, let that balloon expand in all directions. And as you exhale out through your mouth, let the air out of the balloon and really close the rib cage around that balloon. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale through the nose, and then exhale out through the mouth. Now let's go ahead and take that to lying down onto your reformer, because the carriage of the reformer gives you good tactile feedback from the posterior sides of your lungs. Then you'll have your hands on the sides and the front of your rib cage, so you can feel that tactile sensation of where you should be breathing. So I'm gonna lie comfortably on my reformer, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my hands to the front and sides now. And again, I want to feel the air coming into the backs of the rib cage, the sides of the rib cage, and the front of the rib cage. So we'll take a deep inhale through the nose. Feel that balloon expanding in all directions, and then exhale out through the mouth, closing the rib cage, pulling it away from the hands, pulling it away from the back of the carriage. Gentle inhale, opening up through the lungs, through the ribs, and then exhale back out through the mouth and closing the ribs. So that's how you should be breathing